Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, our friends, this day I have spare time to explain for one research. This is a interest research for me because this is a new knowledge to feel about the modify the asphalt pavement. For this research is two researchers from researchers. Name is Ramin, Rajabipo, Diaz, Jacobi, and Ilukorski. For the title for research is rubber and plastic waste, well, asphalt binder and mixture performs against environmentally included these stresses. Yeah, you know, all the people always have innovation to reduce the waste. One of innovations is modify for reduce the asphalt. This, I think, the researchers think the same thing because the researchers have the main idea about the performance against environmentally. It is a combination for the pavement transportation and environmentally. I think it is included to one's or a part important to tap the word with the environmentally and the pavement. Okay, the next slide. Yeah, for this slide I will introduce to the Ramin Sahbazi from the Faculty of Science and Charles Darwin University, Darwin, Australia, and Ali Rajabibo from the College of Sport Health Engineering, Victoria. I think combination research. And for the Ehsan Yacobi from the Institute of Sustainable Industry and Livable Cities, Victoria University, Melbourne, Australia. Nilat Baji from a School of Mechanical and Mining Engineering, the University of Queensland, Brisbane, Australia, and from the Bogdan Zulkorski from the Energy and Sources Institute, Victoria University, Darwin, Australia. Yeah, the combination is very good because some researchers think together to solve the problem about the environmentally and for the modified asphalt pavement. Okay, we will explain about the abstract for this research. This research is published in the Elsevier in its high rank for the citation and high rank for the published journal. We read to access the long-term durability, waste modifiable binder and asphalt mixture as sustainable pavement solution that performs against the most dominant environmentally inducted stress in the extreme weather environment is studied. Yeah, I think for this research highlight to the studies about the performance dominant environmentally and for the distresses in the extreme weather. I think for the other country have the other problem to solve, because the other weather is other condition for this critical for utilizations of such solutions. Many roads can be subject to flood, like UV and extreme temperature. Okay, for this research aims or the purpose about the utilizations of such solutions, since main roads can be subject for the flood. Yeah, I think interest because this research involved with the subject to flood. Okay, I repeat, this is important and very interesting because the researchers involve the subject to fault, because high UV and extreme temperature is the Australian country actually. This review focus on crumb rubber modified binder, CRMB, and recycled plastic modified binder. I think for the crumb rubber is always beginning to in the small cracking for the rubber, while the immediate benefits are well documented. A focused review on the mechanisms of environmental degradation, okay, and their impact on the performance is lacking. Yeah, I think this is well of immediate benefit, because this is a review about the mechanisms of environmental degradation and impact on the performance. Yeah, for the explanation about the crumb rubber, exhibits unique aging mechanisms displaying resistance to oxidative, thermal and UV aging. Yeah, I think this is a benefit for the crumb rubber aging, and for the RPMB, recycled plastic, tend to present a complex interplay of factors influenced by polymer types, dosage, and environmental conditions that variability will affect the variability of the conduct and such subject. Okay, the next explanation. Yeah. Why the systematic or schematic structure about the current study? I think this is a methodology for the researchers. Yeah, recycled plastic modification with mixing method modification and modified binder and mixing performance parameter. I think the normally parameter is like void mineral, void field bitumen, and void mineral aggregate. And this is a moisture damage and impact of underlying binders, CR modification mechanism, moisture susceptibility, suspectibility, and yeah, for the recycled plastic modification, about the long-term aging and watering, change in underlying mechanisms and aging character in time, complexity due to the builder again the cycle, okay, and physically property sensitivity. Yeah, this is a part of method to schematic structure of all the membrane resistors. Yeah. To have the systematic thinking for the membrane processor must be have a systematic issue, and for this method to explain the reader how this resist do. Okay, yeah, this is some part of potential variations, yeah, and the thoughts begin processability in pavement and virgin LDPE. It is a result of toward better processability in pavement. And in B, we know V is result about the MVI and elastic modulus range of recycled plastic suitable for making different products. So, we know for this graphic comparison with MPA and MPI about the this ability for the heavy duty tipping, milk coating, creating box area in the general film of asphalt. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a part of additional material. There is HDPE, LDPE, and LLDPE. Yeah. But part of additive material. Okay. For the interaction mechanism between binder and plastic, for the some reference, swelling about the variation in endothermic events of plastic pure and binder modification, and for the block graph polymer compatibilization, there is resulting in bulk of polymers of recycled plastic with improved compatibility with binder. And for the reactive compatibilizations cross-linking, this is for the mandel shape involve covalent bonding between polymer chain, which can be inhibited by chemical agents or physical process. Yeah. The other part, there is navigating CNI station. Yeah, for the A position, there is possible devulcanization, and for the B position, there is possible revulcanization, and the C is possible polymer transition. Yeah, this is a part of backbone crumb, backbone chain, and utilization. For the effective delivery technique, this is part of morphology polyethylene. Let's say there is hybrid melt extrusions, hybrid wet and PE wet, we can look, this is a different part of small part from PE, hybrid, wet and extrusion. The each other from the part have a mixture. This we can say this is increased compatibilization content. Increased compatibilization content. Yeah, bond failure between binder and aggregate. This is, I think, bond failure is like a microscopic area where the concept internal strength of binder exists. Bond strength with the aggregate, no binder residue on the aggregate substrate. Yeah, this is adhesive and cohesive area. For the environmental scanning electron microscope image aggregate surface, two part plastic aggregate and filler, there is included, and one part PET and HDPE sound stroke water contact angle measurement. And for the polar recycled plastic is a compatible with the polar fractions of a binder aggregate. Yeah. We can look that the recycled plastic that contains PP is a lower polarity and higher melting point, which is cause making bigger bonds compared LIGD and one of part of the mixing area. I think this is a point in mineral, the part of geometry formation. Okay, the aggregate characteristics technique. Yeah, for the macro scale, rheology, physical and thermal, we have a complex modulus plus pass angle. This is a parameter, I think. Parameter penetration, ductility, softening point, viscosity, transition, temperature, crystal fractions, specific head capacity, and onset thermal degradation. In the asphalt, the common testing we use the physical characteristics. Here is penetration, ductility, softening, obscurity. For this research have a more than parameter. There is thermal and rheological characterization. Because for the rheological have a macro scale, like testing complex modulus, pass angle, pattern. For the micro scale microscopy method, we can use scanning electron microscopy, atomic force microscopy, where scans microscopy and optical microscopy. Yeah, the part of this is a scanning electron microscope surface from the scanning electron microscopy sample. For the composition distribution in the extraction and the source subject for the multiple part cycle, there is aggregating area or the Speed up aggregating process have I think 4 area. There is filler, synthetic rubber, natural rubber, and passing through for the filter paper. For this research, the researcher type use the UV radiation is almost efficiency and effective as unit CR because the ability of CR extract of puff attribute modifying. Okay, this is a surface morphology of binder after UV aggregation. Yep, we use the UV aggregation for the transition in surface morphology of binder after UV aggregation. For the A, explain about neck binder, and for the B, explain about the 16.6% crumb rubber, and for the C, explain about the 20% crumb rubber. Yeah, for this observes that while UV aggregating induces quite in the both knit and crumb rubber, the modifications with crumb rubber reduce the integrity of cracking part. We can solve the transitions surface morphology binder after UV aggregating. For the change is complex modulus, this is interesting because we combining for the phase angle, the path aggregating crumb rubber and thermal aggregating and UV to now the toward higher stiffness and elastic dominant behavior due to UV, and towards elastic dominant behavior at low temperature and high temperature. For this article, we can have a conclusion about the advantages use the DSR conductor to the high temperature performance. The binder is non-coverable creep compliance have shown increase the elastic recovery and reduce non-recoverable creep. And for this research, the research said the result for this research for these two aggregating this agree well with DSR plotting factor, so it's a reduction in their aggregating sensitivity. For the change test, there is MSCR because the MSCR is conducted to assess the high temperature performance of binder, indicating its elastic recovery, and shear modification and the aging process have shown to increase the elastic recovery and produce non-recoverable creep. So aggregating for this research is indicate agree well with the GSR rating factor, showing a reduction for the aggregating sensitivity. This is a morphology of recycle puff aggregation and outdoor odor, and cake and puff aggregate 3 months out aggregate and once outdoor. Yeah, for this is a demonstrate negligible degradation. For the dominant factor for the hurting being the bitter aching. What the outcome for this morphology, that is higher melting point of reduced DPE combat the puff aggregation temperature. All this research is about the observed degradations in SBS2 and puff aggregation. Yeah, for the conclusion, we can now for the conclusion. The first conclusion is undissolved. What the undissolved? Oh no, I think the first one is dissolved. Dissolved particle improve the properties. Effect of the upper sawdust by factor like a film thickness, compactability, and morphological stability. The research shall focus on the upstreaming inflammatory fracture field. The second conclusion is addition and cohesion. Recycled plastic modified asphalt include the quality for the melting temperature, dispersion quality, mixing method, plastic with the affects the interaction with the binder and applicator. For the third conclusion, this further highlights crumb rubber unit aggregating mechanism is superior resistance to oxidative, thermal and UV aggregating compared to conventional builders. So the prior molecules and polymer chain hydrogen. Degradations of crumb rubber influence aggregation response, performance and predictability. Despite variations in fatigue response, crumb rubber shows promise for the safe and enhancing asphalt durability, offering a sustainable solution to again challenge in asphalt in general. Yeah, enter. The first is damage modified binder and salt particle improve properties. The second is about the factor influencing with addition and cohesion, and the third is crumb rubber unique mechanism and superior resistance to oxidate thermal convention binder. Yeah, I think this is for the review research for the project. I think compared with the crumb rubber aggregating, compared with the all density polyethylene plastic white reducing, and about the binder modifier with the addition and cohesion. I think this is for my review this day. We hope this is very interesting and can use part of important part for the researchers and for the studying the student. Yeah, we very hope this review is can use for the student to improve skill both the knowledge, especially for the transportation knowledge and technical transportation about the okay. Thank you very much for all for listen my explanation. If I have a wrong said and something you not
just glad that I can breathe. Yeah.
you not now you not this is happen. I'm sorry about that, and we will closing for this meeting. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.